Oxidative stress is basically related to free radical damage in your system. From birth to about 20, typically you're not aging, you're just growing. There's no aging process happening at that time. From 20 and beyond is when your aging factor kicks in. And the aging factor kicks in a sense that your free radicals become more because your enzyme production starts to decrease. As it decreases over the next 20 years, when you turn 40, you usually lost about 40 to 60% of those enzymes. That's when you notice later in life people get arthritis, diabetes, MS, you name it, all the diseases start to come into play. And it's only because your enzymes production is down, your body is now working more on fighting the free radical damage versus healing your body. So how we combat that, we put the word antioxidants. So in 1968, Dr. Joe McCord actually found the first antioxidant, which was superoxide dismutase. The word free radicals came about from his studies. We needed to do something to increase, and we found that blueberries decrease the oxidative stress or your free radicals damage. What we can take in our system typically is around 50 to 80,000 units of antioxidants. When they go in your system, they fight free radical damage, and they work at a 1-to-1 ratio. For every molecule you put in, it wipes out a free radical, and they're both done, and they get flushed. Your antioxidants you're taking directly into your system are fighting usually only in the bloodstream. They don't go much further than that. How many free radicals do you wake up with every morning? And the number is this. It's 3 with 23 zeros, known as 300 sextillion. So if you go back and you were to actually take in directly 100,000 units of direct antioxidants, you'd be wiping this many off of that number. And this is where the myth of antioxidants came about, with Dr. Joe McCord put out a whole series of tapes. How does our body function? The healthy body works basically by the antioxidant enzymes in your system when you're young are working at an amazing rate, 110%, and they're called survival genes. Superoxide dismutase is one of those, which is at the bottom of the screen, as you see, and it works at neutralizing 1 to 1 million free radical per second. It lives approximately 12 days in your system, and then it's renewed by your cells. So what did Dr. Joe McCord try to do over the last 47 years that he's worked on this product? He basically wanted to figure out, okay, when you're 20 and younger, you had all the enzymes in your system to fight off the free radicals. He wanted to figure out how to turn them back on. And he figured out through the NRF2 activator pathway, that's how you turn them back on. So Protandim is actually just a switching device. So what it does is it goes in and it uplifts over 1,400 good enzymes, then lowers the ones that cause inflammation by over 250 of those. Putting everything into the picture, there's over 27 universities currently that are studying Protandim on their own dime, because it's a new tool that they can use to fight whatever disease that they're researching. The product has over 9 peer reviews. The American Heart Association actually did 2 peer reviews on the product. And one of the peer reviews is basically what you see on the bottom of the screen. It reduces your oxidative stress by 40 to 70% in 120 days, and increases your glutathione by 300%. And glutathione is linked to a lot of diseases, especially Parkinson's. The lack of glutathione with Parkinson's patients is why they have element they have. And also the other 3, well, SOD is increased by 34%. Catalase is increased by 54%, which is a major player in a lot of things that goes on in your body. And then if you want to look up these, PubMed.gov is where you go. That's the U.S. Scientific Board of Information. So that's pretty much it on the product. We're going to go more into the business. LifeVantage actually started with a group of guys who came from another company, because the owner of that company decided not to pay them what he told them would. They were looking around for 2 months for a company, and they brought the pay plan with them, and they made it better with LifeVantage. So this information you're seeing on the screen right now is by Peter Drucker, the world economist. He's very, very well known. And basically said you need 5 elements to have a good business or a great business. And those 5 elements basically are products, Protandim fulfills that need with 9 peer reviews, a market trend, which is the baby boomers, and then company, the compensation plan is like, I mean, I've been in this industry for a long time. This one's amazing. LifeVantage is publicly traded also. Their stock is amazing too. They now have 4 patents on the product, and the 4th one actually brought everything up to date as of 2011. So we have from 2011, 20 years that no one can touch this product with these 4 patents. In the compensation plan, most companies pay between 42 and 50%. We pay almost 60%. Residual incomes, we have 3, and 6 ways to earn money. And timing in this industry is everything. If you know anything about direct sales, timing and being at the right place at the right time in this business can make you a fortune. The study was on network marketing companies. Their findings was you have to be in a company at least 18 months or older. I've been in a lot of companies that weren't 18 months or older, and I paid the price on those when they failed. It has to have a unique and highly consumable product, which, okay, Protandim and True Science, we have 2 products, does that. And be a ground floor opportunity. They talk about 2 ground floor opportunities, one being a cutting edge, and the other being a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, which is anything under 100,000 distributors. Our company currently has around 32,000 distributors, with about 5,000 actually work in the business. But we have about 100,000 customers, which sets us apart from most networking companies. We have actually broken all the records for customer base. So timing, again, Peter Drucker talked about timing. He says every company goes through this formula. They start off with a product in formalization, they develop it, get it out there, start marketing it, get it to a certain point. And when that product gets to around 5 million per month, that's usually where a company will get what's known as critical mass. The company is then branded. At that point, the growth in that company will be about 80% in about 2 years. And most companies go through that. Typical example of Nu Skin was one of those companies. They were in formalization for 5 years. They hit critical mass in 1989. They went through the critical mass, went from 4 million to 50 million in 2 years, or actually 18 months, but we'll call it 2 years. And after 2 years, they had 80% of their growth done at that point in time. Our company started in May of 2009, started shipping product actually in June. And then they opened up Mexico in January of 2010. In Japan, 2010. Mexico, they opened in January of 2010. And then they opened up Japan in June of 2010. And we have what's called a soft launch in Australia. Soft launch, you can go in and you start getting your groups together. Once we open it fully, then everything's in place. We did the same thing in Japan. We opened a soft launch in Japan. So 6 months prior to actually opening the company and letting the product into the country, they basically had all their networkers in line. They just set the group in advance. Someone went into the presentation and they got all their ducks in a row. Canada, we have an opening where we can do customers only at this point. So the compensation plan, you earn 6 ways. 2 are paid weekly, which is very nice, and the other 4 are residual. And I'm only going to talk about a few of these. I'm not going to go in depth in all of them. We can do that later. So we have 2 products, Protandim and True Science. Preferred customers, they get it at the wholesale price, so they save 20% at $40 and $70 respectively. That's one way you can get into the business and just have the products. The other way is to come in as a Vantage Pack distributor, and it's a one-time purchase of $600, and that includes $535 worth of product and $65 worth of marketing materials. As you come in as a Vantage Pack and you start building the business, basically the way to get your money back, and that's what most people want to know, how do I get all my money back in this business, Ro? Well, the $600 is gotten back very simply by enrolling 3 people. What happens there is that $535 is broken into 2 categories, a $400 category, which you're paid 40% on. So that's $160 on that one. Then the $135 is what I call leadership bonuses, and that's paid out 100% to the distributors. Enroll the first 2 people, you have a $160 plus the 50 equals $210. They're looking at you as a leader because you're enrolling people, and you've gotten 3 in the business. Once you've done that, you've earned $630, which you got all your money back in the business. But what happens at the 4th and beyond becomes very interesting. When you enroll your 4th and 5th and whatever and beyond, that could be 100 people if you wanted to, you receive an additional $50. So you get paid $260 for the 4th and beyond. But what happens on the 4th one is that the first 3 of the first 3 of the first 3 to infinity that they enroll, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, 9th, 10th, to infinity, you receive $50 on each of those as those people are enrolling. This one here alone can earn you, if you've got a big business going, $1 million a year. So the first royalty commission bonus that we get is basically as you build the business, you enroll people, and we teach to enroll 5 people, and then another 5 and put them under the first 5. But let's just talk about that first level, the first 5. You teach them to enroll 5, so they become 25 at the next level. You teach those to enroll 5, and that becomes 125. So that's 155 distributors in your organization, and that can be done very quickly. And once you've done that, you have an income that's residual coming in. That's about $30,000 a year. Once you've done this, you don't have to go redo it. It's all done. Keep coming in. If I keep going down to the 4th level, basically it's based on your autoship, which is, see, our company's a little bit different. Our customers and our purchases add up to our autoship. And so you get 3 or 4 customers, get 4 customers, and you buying a bottle, that's $200. You've qualified for all the compensations you're going to get in this company. And that goes down 9 levels, and it's actually paid from the bottom up. It's a little bit differently. So actually in our company, you can get paid on the 200th level, the 500th level if you qualify. The second residual income that I really like, this one's the one I like the most actually, is the generational matching bonus. That's people you personally enrolled in the business. Okay, on your first level that you personally enrolled, the company's going to pay you 10% of their check as long as they're in the business and making money. So let's say 4 of those people decided to do what that last screen showed and become a Pro 5 in the business, and they're making $2,500 a month. And so you're paid, because you have 4 of those, $1,000 a month for as long as they're earning in the business. And they also pay you on your 2nd level, and your 3rd level, and your 4th level, and your 5th level. These are generationals. So the one I actually love is basically it's elite bonus. They take 4% of global sales all over the world. We're selling Protandim, and they throw them to a pot, and they give 1% to the 7, 8s, 9s, and 10s, 1% to 8s, 9s, and 10s, 1% to 8s, 9, 10s, and 1% to 10s. But you have to be a Pro 7 and above to do that. When I got in the business 20 months ago, there was only like 5 or 6 Pro 7s at that time. But when we opened up Japan, I think Japan opened up with like 4 Pro 7s in the very first month. Overnight. In fact, actually last month there was 1 Pro 7 that started that month and became Pro 7. I have a young lady, Elite Academy that we did back in San Antonio 2 weekends ago, and there was a lady basically that was, I think she was 31 years old, and she's in California, and she got in this business 4 months ago and became Pro 7 the company. Give you an idea what a Pro 7 is, you can see there the volumes. Pro 7 has 100,000 or more volume in their per month in their system. And they're making roughly about 15% of that. So that's what they make per month in this business. And you just take all those numbers and you do that. That's what each of those categories are basically doing every month. Okay. And I love this one because once you become Pro 7, everybody in the world that's in LifeVantage is in your business. And you want to go out there and help them all become as successful as you can. Mm-hmm. And that's where you want to reach as quickly as you can as a Pro 7. And you can do it in a month, or 4 months, or 6 months, or a year, or 2 years. Whatever you like, and I'll help you do that. We have lots of wonderful testimonials. The one everyone loves me to talk about is my dog. This thing works on every mammal 100% of the time, every time. Straight across the board, doesn't make any difference if it's in human or a dog or a cat or a horse or a bird. And all these people I have friends who give them to horses, and my wife was smart enough to, because our dog had arthritis in the back hips, to give our dog a pill, actually a half a pill a day. And then it took about 3 weeks, and it started running around like a puppy dog. It's a border collie, and it loved to chase balls. And we were building our home, our green home in Puget, Texas. And the contractors, it was electrician, the AC guy, and the painter, always saw the dog, and they came at different times because you start at one project and you come back later. And so when they came back later, they looked at the dog and said, "What did you do to that dog?" And I looked at him and said, "Oh, the dog, yes, the dog. Well, my wife was smart enough to give that dog half a pill for 10 of a day." They said, "What is that?" I said, "Come on in house and let me show you an ABC Primetime." They looked at that and they got in the business, and we've actually enrolled 6 people in our business from that dog. So, yeah, it's changed her life. I mean, it went to a dog where she could actually run and chase things again.